Let's learn how to clean and oil a front-loading sewing machine. I'm using the Janome 234, but you can do this on any machine that has a front-loading bobbin like this. Here's everything you'll need: a cleaning brush, Q-tips, a screwdriver for your needle plate, a clean piece of lint-free fabric, and sewing machine oil. Not WD-40, not 3-in-1 oil, but sewing machine oil. First things first, you're going to want to unthread your machine top and bottom, unplug the machine, turn it off. Now we're going to remove the needle, the presser foot and the ankle, the needle plate with the 2 screws, and we're going to take out the bobbin case. Now comes the fun part. We're going to take apart the hook assembly, and it's not as hard as you might think. There's only 2 pieces here. So the first thing we're going to do, these little black fingers, we're just going to slide them off. The thing that fell out is called the race guard. That's what holds the hook in place. Next, we're just going to, with the center pin, pluck out the hook. And we're going to set these 2 pieces aside for now. Now it's time to clean the machine. The first thing we're going to tackle are the tension discs. First things first, raise up your presser foot so that those discs are split apart. Now take a clean, folded piece of fabric, and you're going to floss it through right here where the tension is. And you're just going to go back and forth a few times, and we're just getting the fabric running along those discs to clear out any dust or trapped bits of thread that might be in there. That's all we need. Next, we're going to tackle the main area. So first things first, I want you to bring down the needle bar all the way with the hand wheel, and we're just going to dust away from the top down. So we're going to start with the needle bar. Up here, just get all that down. Now you can raise the needle bar back up and out of your way. And now we're going to clean first the feed dogs, then we're going to go down here. The one thing I want to mention is you want to bring it towards you, a towards you motion like this. You want to brush the dust out of the machine. You don't want to brush randomly and accidentally push things further into the machine. Now that everything's been brushed out, we're going to do one final round of cleaning with the Q-tips. I love using Q-tips because they pick up all those little bits that the brush leaves behind. So again, we're going to do top down, bring the needle bar down to its lowest position, and you can see there's some fuzz wrapped around the needle bar that we missed with the brush. So we're just going to go and give that a once over, and you can see I picked up a lot of dirt. Then we're going to continue on downwards, get around the feed dogs, go in there, nice and clean. Now this may be the most important part. This little ridge that the hook sits in, you want to really get that good with the Q-tip. As the hook moves through here, there's friction and little metal shavings that are left behind, and the Q-tip is really good at picking those up. Again, turn the hand wheel half rotation so you can do the other side. Now that the machine is clean, it's time to oil. The first thing I want to tell you is that less is more. You only need the tiniest drop. Don't do any more than that. It's just going to stain your fabric and it could find its way further into the machine, so just one tiny drop. The first thing we're going to do is the needle bar. So we're going to bring it all the way down, and I'm just going to put a tiny little drop anywhere on here. It's going to distribute itself so you don't have to get it everywhere. One tiny drop like that, and I'm just going to move the hand wheel a few times, rotate it to work that oil in. Perfect. The second spot we're going to oil is that little ridge that we mentioned before where the hook sits. Just one drop of oil is all it needs. Just like that. Now before we reassemble the machine, we want to clean these parts before we put them back in. My suggestion would be run them over with a clean piece of cloth first, and then go over them with Q-tips to get them really nice and clean. Now we're going to reassemble the hook, and it's a lot easier if you lay the machine on its back. Now this is what they call the shuttle driver, and we want this to be in the left position, which is also when your needle bar is at the highest. So have it in this position, and now we're going to take our half moon shape hook and we're going to drop it into that little ridge that we were talking about before. It should have just a bit of wiggle to it. and it should sit directly opposite the shuttle driver. Perfect. Now we're going to take the race guard, and if you'll notice it has a little pin on the bottom, and we're going to slot that right into the little hole on the bottom where it fits, and it should fall right into place. Looks nice and snug on there. And now the last thing to do is just slide these black fingers back onto the pins to secure everything in place. Lovely. Now you're good to reassemble the machine as per normal. Bobbin case, needle plate, reinstall the presser foot, and put in a fresh needle. The last thing you want to do is thread up your machine and run it through with some scrap fabric. Because we just oiled the machine, those first lines of stitching are going to have a bit of oil residue on the fabric, so you want to get that out on a scrap instead of your nice project fabric. So you might be wondering, how often should I be doing all of this? You should just clean the machine after every few projects and do the full cleaning and oiling after every few months, provided that you sew on the machine regularly. And remember, this is not a replacement for a full service. You should still bring your machine in yearly for proper tune-ups. This will just keep your machine running smoothly and quietly in between those tune-ups.